Welcome to Home Dad Chat, brought to you by the National At Home Dad Network. My name is Brock,
My name is Danny.
and we are here to talk about life as stay at home dads. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
No, I don't want much. I even love handmade crafts made of macaroni. Come on now, you should know me. Times I might eat too much. No worry about my weight. Got the dad bod rocking on me. Sketches on my feet. Cargo shorts look good on me. I'm a dad, that's what I do.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. After a 20-minute brainstorming session with Danny and I that you guys did not get to hear, we decided to hit record so that we can try to regurgitate it back to you in this wonderful show.
I don't know about storming though, man. I don't think we're storming today. I think it was brain maybe misting, maybe.
Misting? Is that what it is? Melting? Brain melting, maybe? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Brock
either
and I
way.
were both quite not awake.
Groggy.
Again, that quite not awake. That makes sense. See, obviously I'm still not quite awake.
You have the best excuse of all for that, though, I think.
Yeah. I have a
your
concussion.
excuse is great. Yeah,
So.
When people come out of nowhere and slam into your car, that'll definitely rock your world literally for a while.
It was so funny because we got the police report back, and like at the scene of the accident, this lady was mad and she wouldn't talk to me, and I'm cool with that. But she looked at me because I could barely get out of my car because the door was, crushed, and I couldn't really push on my left side because it was, really, it got hit, I had to get the cop to help me open my door and stuff. And she didn't come over and talk to me. And I didn't go talk to her because I had a concussion. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was really groggy. And she gave me this look as I walked by because Marnie came to pick me up, and I'm walking back, walk past the lady and two officers, and she's looking at me like, yeah, that's right. You're going to jail. I mean, had that very, very obvious thing. And I'm like, I doubted myself at the time because again, I'd taken a hit to the head and I didn't really remember. I mean, was the light green? I'm sure the light was green. I would have I mean, I don't remember seeing a red light, but I couldn't remember seeing a green light either, And I'm like, oh crap. Maybe I did this. Maybe I screwed up. Maybe I was distracted, and I wasn't. And I have the video, and then I'm going to say the dash cam was like $130 and it's paid for itself 1,000 times over.
Right, especially right there.
Right there is right there. And I'm looking at it, and I look at it, I'm like, no, she didn't even slow down for the intersection. She just rolled through and hit me. Right. And I'm like, I couldn't figure out why she was so smug or so upset. And I'm just going to say this because it was funny. It's only funny. This is not how I truly feel.
It's
this
hindsight.
Is a joke. This is a joke. But the reason she was so smug and angry looking is her name is Karen.
Oh,
this is a joke, y'all. I know a lot of people named Karen are wonderful, amazing people. It's just a joke. Okay. It's supposed to be funny. If it offends you, then you can talk to me and come get me, Board at athomedad.org.
That's hilarious, though. Oh my
goodness. It was very funny. I was like, oh, well, that's very fitting. I got to share that. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what she was thinking. And I don't think I ever will, but you can see from the video. And I knew this, all right, but I didn't realize this, that your dash cam is recording, of course, everything. It's the visual, also recording your speed. And I thought that was very cool because I don't know how it's doing that specifically. I'm assuming it's like a radar GPS type thing, but it's not hooked to my car. Speedometer is what I'm saying. But it had the accurate speed on there. And it records audio inside the car, which was hilarious because I pulled that one up and several of other ones just to kind of figure out what video was there. So I pulled up like 10 that were in that block and I found it. But in the other ones, and so you could hear me driving, and I'm just quiet, nothing going on, don't have the radio on, don't have the phone hooked up, just going, right? And go into the intersection, and then she hits me, and you hear me make that little noise. It's hilarious. It's so funny. And I'm like, oh man, God, I sound like somebody punched a cow or something. What's wrong? It was hilarious. Marnie didn't think it was funny because it was the sound of me getting hurt, so she
Yeah.
didn't like it too much. But then I go back through them and I'm like, okay, so is it and I do this all the time when I'm driving by myself or I'm in the shower. I have conversations with people. I just do. They're not there, but
Right.
I think about what I would have said or should have said or what I will say or can say or how I would respond to something, and I just start talking through that conversation, giving my side of the story kind of thing. And man, I sound like a nut because I went back and I'm like, oh, that's where I turned off the radio and just sang to that song. Oh, I should delete that. Okay. And then backed it up a little more. I'm like, oh man, no, 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 that can't be recorded. We can't have the sound of me arguing with the guy at the grocery store about why cantaloupes have too much fur on them or something, whatever stupid thing I'd come up with. And it was hilarious. It was so funny. And I told Marnie, I'm like, not only for the accident, but just for the humor in what I have now in this just treasure trove of
Yeah.
ridiculous things and conversations that I probably had driving around in my car.
Those are probably some of
So
my favorite videos to watch on TikTok, Danny. I mean, you could make a whole thing out of it, you know. I really enjoy dash cam videos because they do capture so much. I mean,
you really do. Yeah.
even things that like happen that aren't even happening to you. I mean, I've
Hmm.
seen just wild traffic dash cam stuff of
Yeah.
accidents that took place. Although I will say the craziest one that I've seen recently involved two semi trucks
Okay.
where one
That's never
semi
good.
truck going in the opposite direction, he, I don't know what happened exactly, but he lost control, dumped his whole entire trailer sideways, and they was moving at such speed that it flew through the median and came over into the other two lanes.
Oh man.
And this semi truck has his dash cam going, and literally we're talking like straight up cinematic, like Smokey and the Bandit blasts through this trailer as it like slams into the cab. And I'm
Oh
just like, what a front row seat to destruction and
yeah.
disaster. Luckily, like he walked away from it okay, but I was just like, holy crap. But yeah, dash cams, man, I tell you, they're worth their money. I've considered
Mhm.
getting them for our cars just because weird and crazy things happen
Well,
and
I'm
then people don't fess up to doing things like
that's
running a red
it.
light.
Yeah, that if I had not had that camera, I don't have enough of the memory of the accident. I mean, it hit my head hard enough that
Yeah.
I don't remember. I mean, I don't clearly remember. I know probably this is what happened because I remember sitting in the parking lot and then, because I was setting up my GPS and everything before I drive out, getting on the road, but was that light green? And I'm like, I think so. Yeah. I mean, it had to be, right? And
Yeah.
I don't have that clear, I can't, I wouldn't say under oath, that I remember it being green. It was, fortunately, it did go yellow, but I would have been well through the thing first. So dash cams then I'm going to recommend, and this is no sponsorship. They don't get anything from them. And if somebody else out there thinks this is a piece of crap, I get it. It's currently $169, which is definitely an investment. But the Red Tiger dash cam, it's the front and the rear. It works really, really well. It has a 32 gigabyte card in it that's constantly, rewriting itself that you just pop out and you can also access it through your phone. Like I can
Nice.
go to my phone right now and access the Prius and see what, like if somebody was driving around, I could see what they were doing currently and then I could also pull up their old videos. And it's really really clear for the price. It is probably the best camera that I have seen on the market. You do have to run the wiring yourself unless you get somebody to do it for you. And I will say that my child said he was going to run the wiring in the Prius, and it's connected, but it's just hanging everywhere. Like you pull down the driver visor, and there's this mass of wire just falls on your face. And I'm like, you can't leave it. You got to tighten nothing. And he's like, it's fine. What do I care? I'm like, because it's not your car, you little wonderful child, you wonderful adult. Sorry.
It's all right.
He's
Apparently
19.
he's that kid
Oof.
that just that person who just takes all the wires and throws them behind the TV, doesn't care if they're in any kind of order
That,
or not. It's
yes,
just
that.
complete chaos.
It's the absolute chaos. And I'm just like, my son, you're killing me. Okay. You're taking
I,
life
I
from my
can't get
body right now.
I can't get rid of the dust in the house. I don't know what's going on. I bet it's all congregated behind your TV.
Man,
Right.
the week before, I guess the accident, I cleaned out under the bed. I wanted to get the mattress up, take the cover off, and wash it and everything, and then move the box springs around because our box springs are 15 years old. Okay. And I'm not saying anything by saying this other than that at some point in it, the board on the supporting board on this, it's two frames. So on the outside edges where like you'd sit on the bed, and that's all we were doing was sitting, I swear, are broken. Okay, so they're snapped and it caves in a little bit, and so I basically pick those up to switch them around and put them both in the middle and put a board over them, that kind of thing. And rather than just go buy two new box springs because I don't see the need, we save money by put a two or a 1x10 up in there, and we're fine.
Yep.
But I picked them up, and the point of this long rabbit trail we're going down now, I picked them up and I moved them aside, and the dust under my bed, I could not imagine there being that much dust anywhere. All right. And I'm looking at it going, oh my God, what? And it's been, I mean, we set it up almost 4 years ago. And I have not, I mean, I might move stuff under there, but I'm definitely not cleaning under it. I'm not like getting my vacuum cleaner in because you have to take the mattress and box springs out. Man, that was embarrassing.
Can
I
can I
couldn't,
can I point out one thing to you about that
absolutely.
maybe some people who are in a dark-minded place are probably thinking of? That's all dead skin cells.
Hmm. Right.
Ah,
I could
gross.
build a person. Oh,
Oh gosh. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I
Yep.
probably should. Well, my vacuum cleaner doesn't recirculate the stuff, so it definitely stayed in there. But still, uh,
Blech.
and I
Yeah.
got a new vacuum cleaner.
Ooh, there we go.
Got from my mother-in-law. They they're moving out of a house or something like that, and she said, "Well, I can't use it in the new house. So would you like it?" I'm like,
How can you not use a vacuum cleaner in a
"Yes,"
different house? How does that
because
work?
she's got one. She's got a
Oh,
better one. This one's bigger, right?
like it came with the
And
house?
it's got to stay with the house. It's linked. It's like a ghost. It's
It's
like a
Rosie the
ghost
robot.
vacuum.
That's what it is.
What is that? What is that noise? It's just a
Unless
vacuum
it's
cleaner.
maybe
You're
an
you'll be
in-house,
okay.
remember the in-house systems that you can get where you
Oh,
basically
I
just like
do.
plug a hose in?
So, and there's God, we're going all over today.
We
There's
are.
a video that I just watched yesterday, or sometime this week. Again, a little reel, and there's a system that you can put in your house that is a little hole on the wall. All right, and it's about size of let's say a cantaloupe or so. I don't know. I can't. Maybe 10 inches. No, not even 10 inches. 8 inches or whatever. And in diameter. And so you see the people walking by, and there's a hamper underneath it, and like the kid's got his shirt in his hand, and he throws it at the wall, and it goes in the hole,
I
and it
want
goes
this
to your laundry
system.
room. I
Yes.
can't. No,
Love it.
no. There will be oranges in there. There will be cookies. There will be a cat. There will be so much stuff that my kids will throw in that hole. No, this is a terrible idea. And I don't know how anybody gets away with this because I guarantee we would have an animal of some kind. Thump. I'm like, what the hell is the cat doing in here? Dad, can we get a gerbil? No, because you're gonna put it in the clothing hole. I don't know what we'd call that, but
I
the
caught a
vacuum
chipmunk
hole,
just to see what would happen.
just to see where we'd end up. Who knew?
I
But
love the
yeah,
idea, honestly. I'm
I
all for it.
the idea is great. Yes, and I could say that finally, my wife would be able to put all of her dirty clothes in the hamper instead of all around it and hanging off. And I, I think 2 years ago, 5 years ago, I told her she's got to wash her own clothes.
Yeah.
Period. I'm done with it. You just the crap. She leaves stuff in her pockets. She leaves like stuff that falls off into the basket, and she'll just cover it with clothing, and then I'll wash it, and it's like there was a pad in there, or there was paper and stuff, or there was a pen. Oh my God, the pens.
Oh, depends.
So I'm like, no, you
Chapstick.
you do right. Well, you do your
Ugh.
own. I'm not handling this. This is your thing to do. And that was a great idea. So I got our own hamper about 2 years ago, I guess. And that was the second greatest idea because then I don't even have to sort them anymore. I just like, no, that's your crap. And it is hilarious now because mine will be a third of the way full, you know, and it's like I wear the same pair of shorts around the house probably for a week because I don't wear them. I don't do anything, they don't get that dirty. I do a smell test, I'll admit it, but this is just like my gym shorts I wear around the house and t-shirts, and underwear and socks, and that's it. I'm like, then my pile doesn't ever get, but yours is full of all, like you'll wear an entire outfit, wear a hoodie one time and throw it in the hamper. And I'm like, woman, your hoodie didn't get dirty. Okay. It's not dirty now. It doesn't have any smell on it. You wore it for like 6 hours as you walked around the house and sat in your chair or something. This is not going in there. I'm not washing that unless it's dirty. I said, I could fold this up and put it back in your drawer and you'd never notice. You would think I'd washed it. And she's like, well, I'm used to just putting everything in there. And I'm like, you're used to your mom washing your clothes. And that's done.
After
I'm not
all
your
these
mom.
years.
I'm not doing it anymore, right? We've been together 20 years, y'all. I am allowed to be sassy. And she knows I still love her like a fat kid loves cake. I really do. But also, you shouldn't put up with other people's crap. Healthy boundaries. That's what I'm trying to say.
Healthy
I meant to
boundaries, yeah.
say healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries. That's what I meant.
There it is.
I wasn't just bitching about
it was
my
all
wife.
to get to that portion of the conversation.
It was the lesson.
Healthy boundaries.
The lesson.
Yeah, got
and
it.
then the in-house vacuums. Yeah. Weird.
Well,
I do like
congrats
the
to-
idea of those.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, those are a whole new thing. Well, I mean, you think about it, like the in-house vacuum then became the in-van vacuum too for some of the minivans. Have you not seen that?
were?
Yeah,
No.
there are minivans that have vacuum systems in it.
What? I am so
Yeah.
jealous.
Oh, I
my
know some of
God.
the dads in the network have them. I know
Why?
that.
Oh,
It's
how did I
either
grow up in a
it's
world without that?
it's either the Pacifica, I think, or it might be the Sienna. It's one of those two, I was
The
pretty sure.
Pacifica and the Honda Odyssey.
Or that's what it is. Yeah, the Honda
Pacifica
Odyssey.
features the stow and vac system, while the Honda Odyssey has the Honda vac. I think
Yep.
Honda vac sounds better. But holy
Yep.
crap.
Yep.
I wonder if, yeah.
You've been sleeping on it,
Man,
man.
that's genius. I swear, if I can't get my Suburban back, well, I'll cry because I love that car. But
That might be the one to go for.
get a minivan with a freaking
Vacuum in
vacuum
it?
on board. This is amazing.
Heck yeah.
I love living in the future. I really love living in the future. This is great. Because
Yeah,
I have a small,
mothers in the 50s would have died for something like that.
I would have 10 years ago when we had our minivan. I would have been amazing. Because I mean, we've all seen the Bluey episode where it shows the back of his van, and it is just like, oh yeah, that's how I live. Those are candy wrappers and what is that smell? Oh, it's the milk cup that rolled under the seat. And just all of that. Because I have a small shop vac. It's like the little 1 gallons or whatever, the little tiny ones. And that's specifically to clean out the cars because my regular vacuum will die. There's too many little crayons and chips and, tiny little things. And the shop
That's why you
vac
need
can
the mini.
suck
That's
up
why you
like
need that minivan. Okay, Honda
amazing.
Honda and
Yeah,
and
Honda, come
Chrysler,
see
like
me. Come talk to me.
Yeah, come sponsor this show.
We are your target audience. That's for
very
sure.
much we are the
definitely
target audience. Yes, for
amazing.
sure. Just send this
That's
right
cool.
over to them now. Oh my goodness.
And what's really bad is I talked about me getting a vacuum. We talked about the in-house vacuum. We talked about the car vacuum. And I just think this episode is going to really suck.
Oh my goodness.
You're going to use that in the title and you're going to go, dang it, Danny, why'd you make me do this?
I tell you, dicing it any way you like. I think that definitely this
Nice.
show is one for the floor for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And if your vacuum cleaner gets dirty and you take care of that, you are now the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah. That's very true.
Become the vacuum cleaner when you clean the vacuum cleaner.
Well, just don't
There.
be Spaceball 1 and go from suck to blow, okay?
Man,
Sorry. It popped in
and
my
they
head, man. I
remade
just saw
that
this.
too. That's going to be great. I can't, or not remade it, but they did a second one. I cannot wait. That's going
I
to be
just
ridiculous.
popped into my head as this like huge statue of a
Mhm.
maid with a vacuum cleaner sucking all
Right.
the air out of a planet.
Yep. And every one of those goobers going, suck, suck, suck. I'm like, wow, this is making me uncomfortable.
All right. Well, this episode, we need to turn the page. Okay. We're just going to
There
turn
were
the
no
page.
rails. That's what it was. We haven't jumped the rails or off the rails. There
I
just were
blame it
no
on I
rails.
blame it on your concussion. That's all. That's
I
what I'm
do
blaming it
too.
on.
I blame a lot of my concussion over the last couple of weeks or last week. God, it's only been, this is literally 8 days, I guess. And
Yeah.
it's hilarious because I have slept so much. Like I will just pass out. I mean, I won't pass out like fall over, but I'll like sit down on the couch and I'll fall asleep. And I rarely fall asleep on the couch. I'm just not. There's too many things going on around me. I've got to pay attention to, right? Anxiety and all that. And I will just fall asleep, and I'll sleep for an hour, and then I'll wake up, and it'll be like it's a new day. Like it's another day now. So I've woken up. I've been asleep all night or whatever, and my brain is like, okay, so now it's been 2 days. Now it's been 5 days, and it
Mm,
feels like it's been 3 or 4 weeks since this accident because I've slept and woken up so many times and my brain is just not parsing that. No, no, no. This was just an hour, you know?
well, we're
So
glad
yeah.
you're okay. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. I
we're
mean,
just kind of
concussions are
on the
bad.
recovery of it all, but yeah.
That's all. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm fine overall. I still have some pain in places, but I'm old. I got a car accident. I got hit by a car. I should be in pain.
Mm,
But the concussion, keeping an eye on that one.
yeah, definitely a good
And the
idea.
thing is, too, is you have to stop thinking, basically. If you're thinking a lot, that is basically still in, it's not letting your brain heal. Like, so like for screens, you're supposed to stay off screens for like 24 to 48 hours, just
Mm,
as little as possible because it's too much stimulation. And I'm like, I have 4 kids. My whole world is stimulation. That's just what we do.
yeah,
Finding
right.
quiet time doesn't exist. I have to plan that. But it's really, really interesting. But I feel it. And like yesterday morning was very, very productive. We had a lot of stuff going on with the board and getting together with a couple of the directors and just really working on our communication and teamwork internally. Because a lot of what the organization's always been is if you want something done, you have to do it yourself. You know,
Sure.
I mean, if
Yeah.
you want a project, if you want to start a podcast, you're just going to have to go do it. And you can ask for other people for help, but it wasn't really their thing. Like they were like, okay, you're doing that and I'll do this. And that's kind of hampering us. So we're doing a lot about, no, just tell me what you're doing. Tell me what's going on. How's your project working? And do you need any help? And, whatever. And it's good. It's all positive. But by, I don't know, 10:30, I was falling asleep in my chair. I had all these reports done, I had all this stuff going on and these things planned. And I'm like, I got to take a nap.
Yeah.
And because I was doing so much brain work throughout the morning, and one of my non-physician friends who always likes to give me advice like they are a physician, and that's fine, did tell me, they're like, yeah, you're thinking too much. I'm like, I have never been accused of thinking too much. This is not possible. I mean, come on. But
Well,
yeah, point being that it is an injury and you have to take care of it like you would any other, and wholeheartedly encourage anyone that is feeling an injury to go to the doctor. That's what we need to do. Don't be strong and silent. Just go get yourself taken care of and heal.
for
There.
sure.
There's the
Definitely.
moral.
There's
Put
the
it back to a
moral.
moral.
Well,
Yeah.
you mentioned the board, and I know that just recently they had the board nominees on the
Mm-hmm.
Dad X talking about
Yeah.
why they want to be voted in and be on the board, and that was a lot of fun to listen to and hear. Just different answers. Every one of them seems like they've got good reasons for why they want to be the next three board
Mm-hmm.
members voted in, that kind of thing. So it's definitely something to check out. And I think that just even listening to it from a standpoint of hearing uh, these members who have either new or even just recently been involved with the organization talk about how, things that they want to see change, to me was interesting. I think that's the one thing that pops out, and it has always been something that comes up regularly, is the idea of communication and transparency and that stuff. And
Hmm.
I can tell you from back when I first got involved with the organization, there is way more transparency than there was back in the day.
Thank you, Matt
Um,
Strain.
yeah. And communication wise, I think that the one thing that when talking to people, talking to the members and stuff, is just like, if you have a question, if you've got an idea, like, you can ask it. Like, board at homedad.org is open and ready to take any of those
Yeah.
things and address them, especially when it comes to communication. I find it very difficult to hear members say that there's not enough communication that goes on when
Hmm.
there's lots of communication that goes on. It's just, how proactive do you want to be in hearing and also reaching out about those
Yeah.
kind of things to get answers.
We've had people say, "Well, I've never heard of this. Why didn't you tell us about it?" And I'm like, "We post on all of our social media once a month or once a week. This is here. This thing has been announced. How do you not know about the convention? Unless you're brand new, you should be aware that we have an annual convention, and we have, like, if you go to the Facebook pages where a lot of people get all their information, or you go to the, athomedad.org or
Right.
athome.dad, which is a cool
Or you should be
website.
signed up for the newsletter.
So yeah, get the
That's
newsletter,
the other one.
read the newsletter. And
Read
the
the
thing is too,
newsletter.
is like, we put everything in the minutes of our monthly meeting, right? And it's all right there. And just
if
people
you're
don't read
paying
it.
if you're a paying
You
member, you have access to it.
right,
So,
right.
yep.
And it just, okay. We the thing is, though, is, as I'm saying this, almost like, your concerns don't matter. They do. We want to communicate. We want to give as much information about what we're doing as we can. We want the membership to be involved in the convention, in our social media, in all the areas where we're growing and building, and helping us in relationships with other fathering organizations, and just all the things that we have going on. And there's really no better way. Like, we're doing everything we can at this point to be transparent. We it just, I don't know. I don't know how we can do it better. And that, again, is, if you have a suggestion, tell us. Let us
Yeah.
know. Let the board know, this is what I'd like to see, or this is what I wonder why this is this way, or why this isn't this way. And you'll find, I think, a lot of times that we have established rules and bylaws and all these things over years of working as a nonprofit.
Oh
This
yeah,
isn't something we
definitely.
just decided, hey, last month we decided we're going to be doing this thing now. No, we've been doing it, and we've been improving it. And like you said, the communication has gotten better, that the transparency has gotten better. And I did say thank you, Matt. Matt made transparency one of his or I think his main point, is that we're going to be transparent on everything. And there are things that I think we've even said, I don't know that we should let people know this just yet. We need to make sure this or this. And there are things where you do have to do, like, we have plans um, for the activities at the convention, the extracurriculars, and we have to wait until we're sure we can do these things.
Yeah.
Especially the going to Texas this year and the floods, that changes a lot of things we can do. You know,
Yeah, no,
um,
definitely.
you know,
I was
is
gonna say,
is
from a standpoint of like board nominees and stuff, Matt Strain is the only only voted in board member that I know who actually went back to as far as you could go back in board minutes and read through every single one of them.
mm-hmm,
And it was interesting. I remember being on the board when he did that, and his his reactions, like, every time like you get a chance to like have any sort of like communication with him, was like, you will not believe what I read, what was going on, oh my gosh. But
mm-hmm,
it was at the same time, like, he didn't leave it hidden. Like, he was
yeah,
open to talking to people about it, and getting it out there, and
mm-hmm,
like, hey, we should really be appreciative of this, because like these things happened, and we still were able to come to a resolution in that kind of situation,
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
whatever it was. So yeah, definitely. And that, I think that's one of the things that maybe a new board member doesn't even realize, is that, you can go ahead if you want to
Hmm.
have a history lesson, go back and
Yeah.
read through them all and really see what's been going on, and also to have a greater appreciation for where things are compared to where they were.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the biggest part. I
exactly. And
think
that's, yeah, that's the
if you
thing.
got back onto the board, Brock, which I'm not saying you should, I know you got a lot of things going on, but if you did as a previous board member, I think you would be really surprised by the innovations and the changes that we've made in the last year even.
Yeah.
It's really, we're doing our very best to be a professional organization. We're run by volunteers, and that's been an issue for a long time. And honestly, the board nomination has often come down to a popularity contest. It's who do you know, whose name have you heard the most, who do you like, and that's fine because the membership decides who's on the board, and that's as it should be. But we've been looking at it going, okay, that's cool, 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 but we need like Keith is leaving as president. Who's going to be president? We need somebody that's going to step into that role. Matt is leaving as secretary. Who's going to be secretary? And looking at the nominees and being able to say, okay, well, that's great. Everybody knows your name. Cool. But what do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the organization? And it's almost closer to a job interview. Now, the membership still decides. It's a voted thing, period. It's just no matter how qualified you are, if everybody thinks you're a jerk, you're not going to get on the board. Yeah, it's just you're not. But the reality of we need people that are skilled, that have an understanding of what it means to work in a professional organization, and yet we can't pay you,
Yeah. Well,
and
I
that's a
think,
hard ask.
right. Well, and I always, anytime I talk to people, they're like, because especially when you talk to people at the convention, they're like, you know, who are you voting for? Or, you have those kind of conversations. They're much more open than like a national presidency type of
Hmm.
type of deal. But I think one of the things that it comes down to, or at least I always tell folks, I'm like, I'm not voting based on popularity. Like I know all these nominees. They are
Hmm.
all, I would consider to be pretty close friends, and people I've known for years.
Hmm.
But to me, it's having the ability to evaluate who is going to be somebody that is, like, I see this person being a leader. Like they
Hmm.
have leadership qualities that they can step into this role. And then on top of it, who is it that they want to be a leader? However, the things that they're saying that they want to do, they don't actually need to be voted into the board position to be able to do those things,
Yeah.
which I think for me also is a way to sort of like lighten the blow of like, I I'm not going to vote for this person because they can do this without
Hmm.
being on the board. And I've even
Hmm.
had conversations with different people about that. I'm like, hey, like, you know, I may not vote for you, but I need you to know that you don't need to have board member slapped
Yeah.
next to your name for you to do the things that you mentioned in your video
Right.
that you wanted to do as a board member. And that's why I
Exactly.
always pose the question to most of the board members. And I did this actually in the video, or in the DadX conversation, was I asked the question, how will you react if you are not voted into onto the board?
Hmm.
Will you still take what you want to do and try to implement that going
Hmm.
forward? Or are you going to be, and this is the part that I didn't put in there, but I've had this conversation. It's like, or are you going to be like some past nominees who have just basically taken their ball and gone home
Hmm.
and completely dissolved even from the organization, as like, well, they didn't like me, so I'm just gonna peace out.
Well,
And
it's
it's
a
like you,
hard
and I get it. It
blow.
sucks. I
It's
know. I
that's
get it.
yeah.
I get it. It sucks. I mean, my first convention, which I happened to be on the board for, which was a weird situation in itself. My roommate was also a nominee,
Hmm.
And so to be in the room with him after the vote and experience what he was going through to me was very eye-opening
Hmm.
because here I am, like I'm all excited, and at the same time, here he is, somebody that I've gotten to know over, over the past year, and I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna sit here and listen to you and talk and figure this out. And and that's one of the reasons that we are best friend, best of friends in the fashion of being able to have hard conversations with each other because
Right.
we went through that together. Uh,
Hmm.
and so I totally get it, and I completely understand like what that looks and feels like, like not getting voted onto that position
Yeah.
because like I didn't experience the part of like, oh, I didn't get voted in, but I experienced all the emotion and aftermath of somebody close to me who went through it.
Hmm.
Like and was there basically step by step with them the entire way. Like it wasn't like a, oh, I made it on here. I can't be around you anymore. It's like no, like actually like I stayed very close to him the entire time because I wanted him to know that I was there for him and understood like this sucks. Like this is a really shitty situation and I know that they wanted it just as bad as everybody else. And so then to deal with it. So yeah, I mean it it does hurt to not get voted on,
Yeah.
but at the same time too, I think, take a breath and then
Well,
realize
and
like nobody doesn't like you. It's just that there were lots of
yeah,
great candidates
it's
and people had
difficult.
their reasons for voting for who they voted for.
And being able to understand, and we're really working on this over the next 6 months too, is that the committees we have, the teams that we have, not the board, that's where we need the help. That's where we need people working. That's where we need your energy, your passion. If you're passionate about something and the organization's working in that area, please help us out, volunteer. The planning committee for the convention, we need more members, and we need members that are willing to, well, honestly, join in and do the work, even if their ideas aren't accepted, even if they're not doing the things they want to do. We need people to do the work, not decide, I only want to do half the work. A lot of times, the planning committee ends up being one of the hardest jobs we have. And
Hmm.
especially once the convention hits, you can talk to Keith and ask him, how did he enjoy the last couple of conventions? He didn't go to the convention, he worked the convention. He did
Oh, I
not have
remember.
the experience that any of the rest of
Yep.
us have. You and I even.
I get it. I
Um,
mean, well, I mean, I
just
did
yeah,
Cincinnati and Phoenix, and yeah, like you don't when you're in that position, you don't really get to sit down and do any of
anything.
those things.
Right.
The most I
And
think I ever got to do was I basically like I know for Cincinnati specifically, like I went and sat down in a room with Shannon Carpenter and had a drink and just like he was like, you need to just come in here for a second and like clear your head
just
because he
calm.
could see
Yeah,
everything that was going
take a
on.
breath.
So yeah, definitely.
I was aware too. You were pushing yourself.
Right. Well, and I think that that's one of the things that happens in that situation when
It
when
is.
you're that person, when you are the point person,
And
like you
that's
push
why we have a
yourself.
co-chair. And that's why we build a team. That's
Yeah,
what,
that's
again, that's one of the things we're looking at. We need an event planning team that has nothing to do with the board, because every 3 years you lose that board member. So
right.
every year you have the chance of that board member going, yeah, I did this last year, I can't do it again. And you have to rebuild that entire structure a lot of time. Not the entire
Hmm.
structure, but you have to do a lot of the work that should have already been done. And we need that energy and that passion and that longevity, to keep it going. But again, there's plenty of opportunities. And I think being on the board is not what people think it is. I don't think it's again, it's looking at your manager. You're doing the work, you're out there on the floor doing the stuff, and you look at your manager sitting behind a desk. They don't do anything. What are they doing? I'd
Yeah.
love to have that job. I've had that job. It sucks. I wanted to go back to being a technician. I did not like being the manager. It was a lot of responsibility, a lot of stupid little business things and paperwork and, all the other stuff that we had to deal with. And nah,
Yep.
I'll just
It's
go
like
out here and
here's my
do my
shoes.
job.
Wear these
Yeah,
for a day.
wear these.
Let me know how you feel afterwards. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not what you think it is at
Yeah,
all,
be
definitely.
on the teams. Don't worry about that. I mean, be on the board if you want to be on the board. I'm not trying to discourage anybody from being on the board, but I don't. I think we're going to be pushing this a lot more over the next 6 months to a year. Of we have teams, committees that we call them committees, but I'm going to try to get them called teams because I don't like the word committee. Committee is somebody that sits around and talks about stuff.
I like teams. Yeah,
Team
teams.
is somebody that's get works done. We're doing the
Teams get it
thing.
done. Yep.
So, but we'll have to discuss that at the board retreat because it actually means a bylaw change. Yay, bylaws. It says committee everywhere in committee chair in the bylaws, so we'd have to switch it to teams and team lead. But anyway, the phrasing aside, the reality is that we do need a lot of help in a lot of
Yeah.
areas that has nothing to do. We need board members because we do need an overall, like, for lack of a better term, think tank. We're looking at the organization in totem. We're looking at the whole direction and where we want to go and what we are, what we want to be. But we definitely need more people. And if you got a problem, board at athomedad.org, or heck, just come see me, y'all. I'll talk to you.
Yep.
I'll talk to you. But
Yep,
any of the board
definitely.
members you're comfortable with, reach out to any single one of them. Don't be shy. Don't be quiet. If you don't get the answer you want, ask another one. And they're probably going to give you the same answer, but you do have the option to ask more than one person. So
Awesome. Well, hey, we actually made it to a topic and a couple topics and sort of
yeah,
stayed on for the most
vacuums
part.
and
So yeah.
how things suck, and yeah, it's in the board.
And the board, exactly. So cool. Well, hey, we are less than 60 days away from Home Dad Con, and hopefully
What?
we get to see you there soon. I actually will be there.
Yep.
Things came together. I
We
talked
should
to
have
some
led
guys
with
at the
that.
Dad Lounge about it. Nah, it's okay. I kind of left it for the end. Anybody who's listening at the end, they get that little bitty gift at the end there to hear that. So, but yeah, I'll be there. So, not as early as I was planning on, but that's okay. I get to hang out with everybody. So that's a nice little gift for anybody who stayed on for the entire episode. And we'll be back next week with more fun conversations and rabbit trails and whatnot. So until then, y'all have a great week.
Good night, everybody.
I'm a dad, that's what I do.